Okay, this troubleshooting video is going to cover if your torch does not fire. The first thing to check if the torch doesn't actually ignite when it's supposed to is check your plasma cutter for any error codes. If there are any, if you have an error light, which is a yellow light on the front indicator on the Hypotherm unit, refer to your Hypotherm manual. It'll give you an error code. Refer to the rear portion of the manual and proceed with their troubleshooting procedures. If it doesn't give you an error code on a plasma cutter, we need to find out where the signal, how far it got. So if you're in the middle of running a program and it doesn't fire the torch, you need to click stop so that we're not in the middle of running that program. And then using the mouse, come over and click torch on. So we're going to turn the torch on button. Go back. I have it up here for ease of videoing. This is normally attached to the rear of your plasma cutter. This is the sensor PWM box. You'll see a red LED lit up, illuminated underneath the torch on. Right, if I turn it off, it goes off. That means the signal got this far. If the plasma cutter is still not firing, all that is left is this or the plasma cutter itself. This can easily be checked with an ohm meter if so desired. It's not absolutely necessary. Typically we see very little problem with these because there's no moving parts, there's really nothing that can wear out. You may want to check your two screws here and make sure the wires didn't get pulled out if somebody tripped on this cable or something. Other than that, if this turns red, the signal got here, the problem is almost always in the plasma cutter, and it is typically something silly like the air is not on, the plasma cutter is not on, so check the basics first. If this does not illuminate when this is on, the first thing to check, and it's almost always the problem, and it happens randomly, everybody's place is different. Usually new setups are when they experience this problem because of all the power cables bundled together. What you would check is your port hub, your USB cable that runs from the computer to this port hub, this white cable. Make sure that you didn't replace this with a different cable that's long. We want this as short as we possibly can. And we don't want this wrapped around a bunch of other cables. What will happen is electrical noise. USB is very sensitive. It's not very immune to electrical, stray voltage, RF frequencies, anything. What we want to do is try and eliminate this being near any power lines. So when you click this, if this does not illuminate, the first thing you want to do is check to see if you have a USB connection. Both red lights should be illuminated. If they are not, simply unplug this from the computer, plug it back in, and let it reboot. That's a fix. That will get you cutting. But we really need to find out what the root cause of the problem was, why we had electrical noise. So then, at that point, give me a call, possibly take a few pictures of your setup where you have cables run, specifically the RS485 port hub, so that I can help troubleshoot. It's definitely electrical noise. But using this light, we can at least determine the light on the sensor PWM. We can at least determine whether the problem is in the electronics and cabling or whether the problem is in the